What up, YouTube? It's your boy CM the Goat 5, man. Back with a new one, you know what I'm saying? Malone TV News in the building. We got a report that sad day in hip hop, man. We lost one of the greats, mother, Notorious B.I.G. mom, voletta Wallace, passes away. So we're gonna get on into a couple of the videos. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. May she rest in peace. I would like to say she probably, you know what I'm saying, she probably basically was just trying to figure out when she was on here, on her, figure out what happened, what really happened to her son. So she just probably, died of a broken heart. So may she rest in peace, man. So let's get into it.
Voletta and Christopher had a great relationship.
There is not a day I spoke to him on the phone I didn't laugh. I don't know where he was, what part of the world he was, but I knew it was maybe about 1 o'clock in the daytime, and I was mad at him. And I think I yelled at him, and he said, "You owe me an apology." I said, "Hell no, I'm not going to apologize to you." And my mom was there, said, "Mom, speak to you." And said, "If you do not apologize to me and tell me you love me, I'm not going to hang up this phone." Sure. And I hung up my phone. And I swear, maybe about an hour or two after, I picked up my phone. Nothing. Hello? Hello? "What are you doing on my phone?" I said. I told you I wasn't going to hang up this phone. I said, "Were you on this phone?" "Yes, I was." And I looked, no, this jackass was not on this phone all this. I said, "No, I need to make a telephone." "Not until you say you're sorry and say you love me. You know, but you have to say it." "Okay, Christopher, I love you." Isn't that easy? You let me sit here, fall asleep, wake up, and all you had to do was to tell me you love me, and this would not have happened. "Okay, Christopher, get off the phone." That's when you got off the phone. From like 12:30 to about 3:30, he was on my phone. I could not believe it. I said, I told you I was not gonna get off this phone until you do. See, that's the relationship we have. That's the beautiful relationship we have.
Wonderful memories, man. Wonderful memory. Let's see.
Here, I could have been doing something with a lot of curses in it, and I wouldn't have rhymed with all our vibes to the last word. It'd have been a whole bunch of mother.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. Malone TV News, man. You know what I'm saying? See them to go 5. since with her, and it's like 5 years ago with her and Biggie's son.
This game, you're not ready for it.
From New York and on the new Hot 97 app, Ebro in the morning. Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning. Laura Styles, Rosenberg, Miss Wallace on the program.
Yeah.
What grandson CJ? What's poppin'? What's going on?
What's going on? Good
Hi.
to be here.
Good, man. How you doing, Miss Wallace?
I'm good.
You're
honey.
glowing. You look amazing.
How do you
Thank
keep
you.
getting younger, Miss Wallace?
I don't know. Maybe it's the environment.
I don't understand it. I don't understand
look
it. I got older. You got younger since you last time I saw you.
Miss Wallace, other than running the foundation, the Christopher Wallace Foundation, and being a part of all those things, are you spending time? Are you gardening? Like, what's your day like? Take care of the grandkids.
Who you talking?
You chastising babies. Like, what's happening out here? What are you doing?
Who you talking? I'm doing my gardening.
That's right.
And very soon you're going to see a lot of things about my garden popping up.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
There's a thing happening. There's something happening.
Something is happening.
That's so cool.
Fresh from Miss Wallace's garden.
Yeah,
You know, you're gonna be in Whole Foods, I bet.
No foods.
Foods.
Oh,
something
no,
else.
something else.
Very nice.
Hey, now, by the way, what's going on this weekend that you guys are here to talk to us about?
Yeah, you wanna break?
We are finally,
Finally.
one more finally, going to unveil the Christopher Notorious Big Wallace Way.
Wow.
Round of applause. A lot of work was put into it. Same place and Fulton Street.
Yes, sir.
Street.
And this will take place on Saturday, Monday,
Monday
June
the
10th. And this will happen at noon.
12 until 2.
Now, we've heard some of the stories about the challenges, community, not, his past, music content, et cetera, et cetera. Was all of that true, or?
Somewhat.
Okay.
In the beginning, you've heard a lot of stories.
Yeah.
You've heard how it came to be and why it's here, but it's all work. You have to work to accomplish something. You don't just walk in and say, yes, I need the sign, and the sign just pops up. Yes, I think it was right after Christopher's death in the fall of 97, Tish James.
Right. She's the Attorney General of the state now.
Tisha James was the first person who suggested it. At that time, I don't know how I felt about it because I was in mourning.
Of course.
Do I want to see his name out there? How am I going to feel? But, we talked about it. There was a neighbor by the name of, and he's also a politician now, and I'll tell everyone, I don't do politics, but I have a lot of people in the political realm. Robert Carnegie. Robert Carnegie, Virginia, everyone knows her in Brooklyn as Miss Jenny. She also had another name called the mayor. Robert Carnegie, my brother went to this meeting, and they stepped on the ideas if it was a bug.
Really?
They had nothing to do with this young man name on the street. He sells drugs. He defamed women. Why should we do that? No, 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 no. And I said, okay. I'm living into a very nice neighborhood. If I want, if I need, I could get his name around there. So I said, forget it. So after a while, I stopped. But Virginia Kennedy never gave up, never gave up. And so I waited, we waited, we waited, we waited. Well, this is a long story. How long is this show?
What year?
This now is going into 98.
Oh my gosh, well, this goes all the way back.
Wow.
Yeah, it started
years.
in 98. I would say 21 and a half years. I really would say that. And then, the politicians came in and they weren't hearing it. Nobody was hearing it right now because it had this negative connotation, to it. But then one Mr. Wayne Barrow.
Shout out to Wayne Barrow.
Yeah. He was the one who said, there's so many other people who, yes, they do drugs, they do worse than drugs.
They own slaves, they rape people, they're on money, they're on all types of things.
Very much. And
Yeah.
yes, their names on the street. We don't know anything about many of these people's, the names that are, these street names. We don't know much about it. But we never gave up. And for some reason,
That's your
Most peaceful ring I've ever heard of. Let it go. Why?
I almost took a nap right now. I was like, that's how she puts the grandbabies to sleep. And so Wayne made sure to make that point.
yes. And, in other words, he had, spoke positively about it.
Yeah.
Because, there are other people. I remember once someone is saying to me, why would you do this? And somebody
What happened then? Sorry, people. I'm having no technical difficulties for a second, so
and
We're back.
somebody to me. Of the worst
we're
things
back.
happened in one of the greatest books that ever written, and that's the Bible.
That's right.
When you think about the Bible, some of the worst things happen there. Okay, but Christopher is not here. You cannot focus on what he did. Let's focus on the future. But while they were saying this, the foundation was really thriving. The foundation was doing so many things in the community, outside of the community, helping the kids, helping the senior citizens, helping the homeless shelter. And many of these politicians never knew that. So, to make a long story short, Jenny went and spoke to the politician and told them what is happening. This is what's happening. You don't know this young man. You don't know of him. You only heard of him. You don't even know. You've never met his mother. You don't know anything about him. And she listened, and she said, "You know who you need to talk to? Talk to this young man." And Lori, I usually call her Laura. I just found out a few months her real name is Lori.
Isn't that a trip? Like you talking about his name? They're called Jenny. Their real name isn't even Jenny. Right. Like, how'd that happen?
So Wayne spoke to Laura, and he could tell you the story, what happened. And she listened because Miss Jenny spoke to Laura about, and what Wayne spoke to Laura about, she never knew. But all this time, there were so many. Yvette Clark, she was behind the sign. Hakeem Jeffries, they were behind. There are so many politicians that were behind it. But things takes time.
Well, it also feels like there's been a generational shift. I know we all feel it, right? Not only executives, who we were all young in the game and coming up are now, in this game, 25, 30 years. Thing with politicians where you have Tish James, who said she's the attorney general of the state. She's the most powerful lawyer in the state, right? So, these things, you want to take the call?
Let me take this call.
Let's take the call.
And you would never believe who this is.
Who? Faith.
No.
It's Jenny.
Jenny. Hello, Jenny. You're on the radio. I'm at the radio station, so I'll call you back.
Voletta Wallace and the Christopher Wallace Foundation, in partnership with the Office of Lori A. Cumbo. She's a majority leader. The Notorious B.I.G. street naming event Monday, June 10th, noon, right at St. James Place and Fulton Street. DJ Enough on the set.
There you go. It makes it only right.
Hot 97 got to be there.
CJ, what does it mean to you to have your dad's name on the?
Well, my name.
Yeah.
This is my name too, so it's pretty dope. I didn't do anything to deserve it. But, yeah, I really can't even. I mean, since before I could remember, this has been happening, and I really didn't even know that this has been a 20+ year thing. So, no real words can describe this. It's just like.
At what age do you feel that you start being able to appreciate? And I don't know how long the perspective takes to be the child of a legend who's not around. It's a very unique experience. You know that is, that you could share with people like Paris Jackson or like, these people who live this life that it's
and
like.
I've wanted to literally sit down and have these types of conversations with them,
right?
But everything takes time. But yeah, it's.
Do you know what age though you started becoming really cognizant?
Probably 13 when I did Notorious. That was like the real opening introduction.
You're like, wait, my dad. This is a movie about my dad. I'm in a movie. I'm my dad in a movie.
How do you feel about that movie now, looking back at it?
It was probably the coolest experience I could have experienced.
Really, you really had fun
as his son. Just top of the dream. Like, yeah, I'm gonna play my dad in a movie. Nobody gets to do that. So
yeah, that is pretty sweet.
It was pretty dope.
And I guess it gave you an early vision of just how important he was.
Yeah,
when you see how many people.
It kind of started the journey for me and wanting to know more too. So, yeah.
And what are you working on now?
Now I just started my company called Think Big.
Okay.
Not a cannabis company, but we believe in cannabis. Took a long time to get that through to her and to talk about that, and just obviously New York has a lot to work on, but California, that's where I stay. So cannabis is really always
of course,
been in my life.
It took me a while to convince my mom, and have my mom is a cancer survivor, so it's really helped her. Yeah, from the CBD oil and the edibles every now and then, it's helped her a lot actually.
Yeah, so for me it was like
marijuana juice.
Marijuana juice.
Exactly.
So wait, Miss Wallace, you partake in the tea or you
She doesn't do anything.
We're working on
Little
it.
by little.
We gotta
It took me a
like,
while.
You know the CBD oil is not.
She's very,
Well, no,
Old school,
so
but we
the
gotta
reason I
work
bring
on
this
it.
up, the reason I bring this up is because right now, New York State, right, we're going through the whole recreational marijuana process. Medicinal is already there. There is a thing with our, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, and uncles where they still view marijuana like heroin. Like they put it in that same category because that's how they was raised and that's the way it was treated. But fast forward now, the reality is there's a lot of healing mechanisms with the plant, and there's also the reality that prescription medication is very expensive. Prescription medication also takes a toll on your liver and your kidneys in elderly people, so they end up having other problems because they're taking arthritis medication or heart medication, and now you got a kidney problem and a liver problem, you know what I mean? And the pharmaceutical industry benefits on all of that, and meanwhile, here's this plant that can help you with your arthritis, it can help you with your blood pressure, it can help you with cancer, it can help you with a lot of things, and people still have that mentality. So,
Well, I have to see it first.
always. Always.
She'll let me know what she's
Little by
saying.
little, I have to see it.
Makes sense. Are there any artists of today and think are great to a level to the stratosphere as they?
I'm sure there. Like I said, I'm not a rapper. Sorry,
Right.
only my son. Turn the radio on. Heard something, a nice beat. I might listen to it. Do I understand the word? If I don't, I'll just listen to the beat. These kids, I do not know what they're saying. Really?
We don't either. We don't either. I work here. Like, what did they just say?
Right.
I really don't. And should I embrace it? I personally cannot embrace the music, but I embrace the person.
Right.
Now, to my son,
Those stories.
there's a lot of his music that I don't. And,
I can tell you're a somewhat conservative person. I mean, it doesn't seem like you would have loved. I don't think you'd want to listen to it.
please, but I love my son.
Right.
I love my son. And what I'm doing today, I'm doing it for my grandchildren. And just to solidify, to keep his legacy going. I will always love my son. Monday, yes, it's about the sign, but it's all about love. And it's about the people who make it happen.
Well, spread love. It's the Brooklyn.
It's Brooklyn way.
That's the Brooklyn way. It's all about the love. And I have to give respect for the people who fought for it. I'm sure many of them are going to come out there and wait for names to be called and what they did and what they did. We would be there for another 22 years.
Well, just for the record, I think it's amazing that it's happening. It
Yes.
should happen. But I do also have to be clear. If it didn't happen, Biggie's legacy is completely intact.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone anywhere. I mean, it hasn't diminished at all.
100%.
He is in a category of a handful of artists in history whose level of legacy never changes. When you get into music, you start learning about him. He's whether it's John Lennon or Kurt Cobain. There's not that many people that are in that place, and I think that this is an amazing thing to have, especially this area that we all associate with him. But just to be clear, this legacy, because of his music and the work he did, it's never going away. It's amazing that at 24 years old, I'm 39, and I'm still figuring out how to be an adult. And at 24, by 24, to have left that big an imprint. How old are you now, CJ?
I'm 22.
It's crazy to think that in 2 years to be able to get to a point where you could accomplish that much that the world would talk about you for the rest of time. It's a pretty amazing accomplishment.
Yes, it is.
Legendary.
Yes, it is.
Listen, Voletta Wallace and the Christopher Wallace Foundation, once again in partnership with the Office of Laurie Cumbo.
Combo.
You're getting there.
I get it right. The Notorious B.I.G. street naming event Monday, noon, St. James Place and Fulton Avenue. It's great to see you.
Congrats, guys.
Thank you.
Fulton Street, excuse me. It's great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Always
Nice
great to
be
see.
here.
And there you have it, guys. I just wanted to, touch bases on a little history about Big's mom, and what she did for her son and her grandkids. Legendary, May Crystal Wallace rest in peace. May his mom rest in peace, Voletta Wallace, and so forth. So his legacy will live on for eternity. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It's your boy CM the Goat 5, and I'm out.